In keeping with her traditional title, Osodieme, the wife of the governor of Anambra State, Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano has always been a pillar of support to her husband, Governor Willie Obiano, right from the heady days of electioneering campaigns that brought the couple into the governor's lodge in Amobia to the present day. Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano, popularly known as Osodieme Aguleri, has proven the wise saying that behind every successful man is a woman.
With all our hearts, we pray and ask, God bless Anambra, God bless the shining light that we bear. We're the only ones to make her brighter, the only ones to make her better, the only ones to make Anambra shine. With our sweat and blood, every breath of our lives, with trust in God, we will lift our homeland high. We believe in togetherness, we'll build a land of progress. Lift the spirit of Anambra, lift the spirit of Anambra, lift the spirit of Anambra, states we love.
Recently, Chief Mrs. Obiano demonstrated her commitment to see her husband succeed as governor of Anambra State when she embarked on a tour of the 21 local government areas to thank the Anambra, especially the Umuada Anambra, for their overwhelming support during the gubernatorial elections that made her husband the governor of Anambra State. Chief Mrs. Obiano also used the opportunity of the visit to enlighten the rural women on the activities of our pet project, the Caring Family Enhancement Initiative, CAFE, which was evolved to bring hope to abandoned children, widows, the physically challenged, the poorly skilled rural women, and young women in their need of vocational skills. Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano has earned the reputation of an astute leader of the women folk and a compassionate, stylish and God-fearing woman whose greatest satisfaction comes from little acts of mercy and putting smiles on otherwise sad faces. Her active involvement in implementing her husband's vision and mission statements from the Anambra has opened her eyes to what she must do to bring succor to the vulnerable populations of Anambra State, and Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano has emerged as fully involved in her role as the mother of Anambra State and the caregiver to the people in need.
I know that you gain a lot from giving back. I've always believed in giving back 10% of your earnings by going to the motherless babies under the orphanages, old people's homes, as well as the destitute settlement in Lagos. Then we were resident in Lagos.
In just 6 months, Her Excellency has had a positive impact on the lives of the women folk and the less privileged in the state through her foundation, the Caring Family Enhancement Initiative, CAFE. She started by setting up a functional office of the First Lady with its full complements, which is now effectively in operation. Thus, Osodieme has the record of being the first woman since the creation of Anambra State to set up a proper office and evolve a clearly defined vision for women and children in the state. The office is structured to facilitate Her Excellency's drive to complement His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano's delivery of dividends of democracy to Anambra.
From this office, a lot of work will be going on there.
Amen.
Work regarding women, children, the less privileged, the needy, and what have you. Amen. To the glory of God.
Amen.
Working closely with the Ministry of Women's Affairs and Social Development, headed by Dr. Mrs. Vicky Chikwalo, Chief Mrs. Ebele Chukwu Obiano has visited orphanages, hospitals, primary health care centers, and institutions of the physically challenged to spread love and restore hope to Anambra.
Thank you so much.
At Basden Memorial Special Education Center, Isulo, Orumba South Local Government Area, Chief Mrs. Ebele Chukwu Obiano saw an educational facility with dilapidated buildings and conditions not suitable for children in need of special care. Moved with compassion, she quickly constructed and commissioned a borehole to provide clean potable water to the school. She also facilitated the renovation of the existing school buildings to provide a more conducive learning environment for the children.
I will declare this borehole open for these children to get water to bathe and most importantly drink. So, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, I pray.
At Umuchu Special School for the Disabled, Agwata Local Government Area, she came bearing gifts for the underprivileged children. She listened attentively to their challenges and promised to assist in any meaningful way that can make a difference in their lives.
Thank you so much.
Her Excellency also visited various hospitals and primary health care centers in the state, talking to mothers or mothers-to-be on the need for them to receive proper antenatal care during pregnancy. Her love for children was shown when she personally retrieved some abandoned babies from the streets and placed them in orphanages in the state after ordering a comprehensive medical tests on them. One of the babies rescued, a male child, was named Madabuchi after her husband.
One of the staff at the government lodge had a baby crying. So they went out and behold, behind the fence there was a baby in a raffia bag. So we took the baby. I was out of the country at the time. So I told the Commissioner for Women Affairs to take the baby to the hospital first for medical attention. As a matter of fact, we named him after my husband. We gave him my husband's middle name, Madabuchi.
Cafe has also relocated this physically challenged woman who was recently delivered of a child to a more conducive living quarters and is not only responsible for their upkeep but also provides for the other homeless children in the orphanage.
We want to thank the First Lady, Mrs. Obiano, for helping the less privileged.
Children say, thank you!
Her NGO is also in the conclusive stage of providing prosthetic limbs and other mobility aids to physically challenged people in the state.
I've directed the local government chairman's wives to work with the PGs of their local government areas all the way to the wards so that they can submit names of people who really need these limbs, and we get the people that will come and take the measurements at the appropriate time and very soon, as a matter of fact, and we produce those stuff and give them their lives back.
The Caring Family Enhancement Initiative, CAFE, in conjunction with Juhel Pharmaceuticals, has also commenced a deworming program in the state, but more importantly, CAFE is tackling head-on the menace of malaria, which is the highest killer disease of children in Nigeria today. CAFE also grants scholarship to the best performing students from secondary schools to tertiary institutions in Anambra State. Young women who have no deep interest in pursuing a brighter future through education are offered the opportunity to learn important life-enhancing skills in vocational schools across the state.
Because there are children that cannot go in the way of academics. You cannot abandon them because they don't want to go to school. We have to put all hands on deck to build the state, and that's why if you cannot go to school, you learn a vocation. If you're a mechanic, you can repair cars and earn a living from there. And if you do well, you will also become an employer of labor and thereby creating more jobs. Job all the way.
In all the local governments visited by Her Excellency during her recent tour, the people trooped out en masse in a show of appreciation and admiration. Traditional rulers, local government chairmen and their wives, market women, the aged and the youth. Also present were the wives of community presidents general. Receiving the wife of the governor and her entourage with pomp and pageantry, in their welcome speeches, which were delivered mostly by their wives, the local government chairman expressed their joy that Chief Mrs. Obiano had come to fulfill her promises to the rural women. They also conveyed their gratitude for the positive impact that her foundation, Cafe, had recorded in just 6 months. They urged her not to relent in her efforts in touching the lives of the needy.
In this time of financial crisis and economic challenges, your visit to our local government area is timely as well as intervening. This is because your laudable empowerment charity program is for the less privileged of the society. These groups of people you have come to see and empower are usually forgotten in the society, despite their being most affected by the adverse economy.
The First Lady has demonstrated her concern for upliftment of the living standards of women and children in the rural areas and the state at large. Today's visit no doubt marks the present day government's responsiveness to the yearnings and aspirations of the rural population. It is our prayer that God Almighty will grant you the wisdom to accomplish your dream towards all addressing the suffering of the rural women and children, as well as elevating the status of women in the state.
Your Excellency, you have come to empower 530 less privileged and physically challenged persons in our local government area. Your set of women empowerment programs has provided a guide on how to empower women in their workplace, marketplace, and community. We therefore pledge to continue to do as you have guided.
I say welcome to Anambra, Osodieme, Mama Annie No, to your second home. Since assumption of office, you have embarked on many projects, including visits to motherless babies' home, caring for abandoned babies, championing routine and periodic immunization and deworming exercises.
In her response, Her Excellency urged the women to imbibe the virtues of selfless service to humanity, especially by showing support to the physically and mentally challenged and to the less privileged people that live among them. Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano also appealed to the women to always strive to equip their children with the right set of values, to work for good governance and accountability in government, even as she enjoined them to be prayerful at all times in the face of daunting challenges facing the country.
Administration Maganonia Abuna, even on the father, I need a good belle. No cochu, I need a good belle. I need a belle. So you go see Muya on the beginning. Who would that go like the family prayer on the Lumagini? Sichineke, Biconia governor again. Wow.
Chief Mrs. Obiano also enlightened them on the need to form cooperatives, assuring them that funds were available for those properly registered in the state.
First of all, I would like to know what cooperative societies you have. I need cooperative societies for commerce, trade and commerce. I also need cooperative societies for agriculture. So that in agriculture, I get more seedlings, where all kinds of things, fertilizers, that you all can, benefit from there. What's the subsidized price? Then in trade and commerce, and I need raw collateral, and that's why we give little money. If you are able to offset well, and you also offset that, there's no limit to the number of times you get, as long as you are offsetting your loans.
As part of our meager contribution to the upliftment of the people, Her Excellency came bearing gifts which comprised various food items, clothes and fertilizer for the farmers. She also donated some cash to widows, women, the physically challenged and orphanages.
50,000 naira. Orphans.
We have a normal and if I go see that need more for my
During the local government tour, Chief Mrs. Obiano had a prayer session with Christian Association of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter, Women's Wing, What We Can, where she was given a merit award for her selfless contributions to people in need.
Women's Wing to Christian Association of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter. This day, 25th September 2014.
While thanking them for the unexpected honor bestowed on her, Chief Mrs. Obiano urged them not to relent in their prayers for the development of the state, and also promised them that she would always be available for them whenever the need arises, and that she was here to serve them.
I am your servant. I am your chief servant. I stand to be corrected whenever I'm not getting it right. I will not feel offended. All you need to do is let our chairperson here to, brief me, and then you watch my reaction.
Other notable citizens of the state took turns to express their happiness with the pace of the various development projects embarked upon by the governor, saying that her efforts were in the right direction as they complement the efforts of the governor in improving the socio-economic lives of the rural people.
The developmental focus of this government, as I attest, will be different. After you and Willie Obiano have walked through Anambra State, it will not remain the same.
About 6 months of this administration, look at a beautiful program. It's a veritable vehicle. On a program, you have a very veritable vehicle as you penetrate grassroots. That's what is displayed here. Some of us may not know. It's rural development in perspective. It accommodates the poor as a whole, which includes the aged, the widows, the orphans, even the amputees. Someone cannot touch heart.
By this visit, Her Excellency will surely uplift the standard of living of women and children in our various communities. Our prayer is that God will grant you the grace to accomplish your dreams towards alleviating the suffering of the rural women and children in our state. Also there, you are God-fearing, and you are sent by God to help the poor masses in our community.
My name is Buteline. I forgot why I say yo. Budiemero, Dr. Carby is a Dagwata fertilizer, Nitapaji, Aquation. enyenekwo ekwukwo ma rice ma ebe niile iji ụmụ nwanyị ama na arụ na-abịanụ na n'ihi agba nyakwụnyakwụ na agụata.
In a pleasant surprise, a property development firm made an announcement that it will build 500 houses in Anambra East. They explained that the governor's achievements, especially in the area of security, had encouraged them to invest in the state.
500 buildings. I got Anambra State. So I got Anambra State here, and Anambra East were 500 pieces, 500 units of buildings. And the location. That's now Umuleri. I got only 500 buildings. Then the other one, Umunya. The other one, Umunya. The other one, in Oba area. Oshino Oba.
Towing the footsteps of her husband, Chief Mrs. Obiano used the occasion to sensitize the gathering on the coming elections and campaigned vigorously for President Goodluck Jonathan's 2015 re-election, which she argued will benefit Ndibo. She also urged them to massively vote APGA in the remaining elective offices to consolidate on the developmental strides of His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano.
President Goodluck Jonathan, all other positions,
As Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano Osodieme continues to strive to complement the efforts of her husband, she appealed to Anambra to always work together for a better Anambra.
With all our hearts, we pray and ask, God bless Anambra, God bless the shining light that we bear. We're the only ones to make her brighter, the only ones to make her better, the only ones to make Anambra